It's about 30 days or so away from Alabama's first game. Castellanos, he has made a lot of promises to his Seminole brethren. He wants them to band together and take down the evil empire known as the Crimson Tide. So today, we're going to take a look at the defense that's going to put a stop to all that nonsense right here around the herd. Let's go. Hey, Alabama fans, roll tide, Alabama fans, roll tide, everybody, and welcome to Tight Sports. This is the Alabama Football Megacast and the Crimson Tide People Network, unofficially. I think I better throw that in every once in a while. Anyway, if you're like me, you had a chance to attend your child's local, school orientation, and it's a very happy time around my household. A return to a time of full refrigerators, a quiet house during the day for those that work from home. Back to a time where, just little people running around your house not paying bills. They're just gone for 10 hours every day. But that's if you throw them in the extracurriculum. See, that's the trick. When you get them in there, you got to put them in the extracurricular. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. I want to thank you for thumbing over and joining me today on whatever virtual space you have chosen. Share a pound with me and drop it on that subscribe button as you settle in. And if I successfully stimulate the happy juice in your gray matter and make your funny bone jiggle, please let the algorithm know what we're doing over here at Tight Sports and poke that like button right in the eye. Now, we got a lot to cover. Today, we're going to go a mile wide, an inch deep, maybe an inch and a half deep. Well, we are going to go a mile wide. I want to take a look at Kane Wommack's 4-2-5 defense. That's his strength. That's his unit. That's what he knows. That's his run. He do his run fits and this. And, I think however he got his job, he probably used the same defense to get in the room for the interview. I don't know. Just talking stuff. Let's look at our linebackers, y'all. Tidefans.com and many other units. I say this is a very good group that we have here. I don't think we had a very bad group in a long time. Remember, D'Amico Ryans, current NFL coach, he played under Mike Shula. The key traits to this group is veteran leadership, and they have depth on the inside, and they got hybrid edge roles. And in this group, there's a lot of NFL talent. When you take a look at the mics, the guy that's going to make all the calls, and we missed him last year because he did get injured, is Deontay Lawson. Deontay Lawson is going to be making those calls, but his backup is very interesting. And just so you know, I got a series of videos coming out. I have about seven key transfers that are going to make an impact this year for the Crimson Tide. And the Mike linebacker backup, Nakai Hill-Green, is definitely one of the guys I took a look at. He's transferring over here as a senior. Straight mercenary action, y'all, just putting up production. He got to get it because he got to go. I think this is his very, very last year to play college football. Supreme Court case pending. I mean, if you're familiar, somebody's challenging the 5-year rule of college football. I'm like, why not? Why not? We don't have anything else to worry about. Why not challenge, stay in college for 17 years? Some people do just to get a BS degree, But Deontay Lawson is a key part of that defense, the heart and soul. But I want to take a look at some of the backups that could go in that Mike role just in case we have an injury. You're looking at one person that sticks out to me is true freshman. Actually is going to his sophomore year, QB Reese. I think it's Quentin Reese. His father actually played at Auburn. He went to Ramsey High School, the 4-star prospect coming out of the 2024 class. Now, he could be a redshirt freshman. I don't know how that played out for him last year, but he's known for his physicality and his instinctive play. Right now, he's last listed at 6'1", 225. But I did see an article where they've been adding size to all the players at Alabama. Even Keelan Russell picked up a few pounds going into the summer. I think it was 7 pounds. And on a quarterback, that can be a lot. Not on him. He was kind of a skinny kid. But going back to QB to Reese, he fits the mold of a traditional linebacker. I think you'll see him on special teams. And there's a real deep depth chart. But going into this season, I think they want to play a lot of people on defense. I mean, a lot. He's viewed as a developmental talent with long-term SEC starting potential. Now, the thing could be, you get there, you learn the system, you find out what you're supposed to be doing, and he could be a 2-year starter starting next year because we do have people going to the NFL and some moving on with their regular life. At the steam position, you have Justin Jefferson, who was also injured last year. Probably, I don't know if he could have moved on to the NFL. Deontay Lawson, and he, I think, had opportunities to move on. They're being backed up at that steam position. And to be honest, I don't know too much of a steam from a wolf, from a husky. They got all them names out there. We're just going to call them linebacker to make it easy. It says 4-2. So you got 4 linemen sometimes. Sometimes you got 3 actual linemen, and you got 3 linebackers. Or you got 4 and 2 line. Hey, it's all over the place. Got to keep them guessing in today's game, and I don't mind it. But at the steam position, you have Justin Jefferson coming there. He's all world. NFL already looking. You know, they know he's gone. He's going to be gone. Followed by Abdul Sanders. Now, Abdul Sanders is a guy I did a video on when I first started my channel, when I started really looking at recruits. He's going to be a key piece, along with Caden Jones and Luke Metz. I also did something on Luke Metz. He's out of Georgia. He really reminded me of he really can play. Luke Metz was destroying people's children out there, which I think is very important for linebackers to do. And he didn't care who feelings he hurt. But I heard he's a nice kid. Just don't snap the ball around Luke Metz. But I want to highlight here Caden Jones. He's a redshirt freshman linebacker. 4-star as well from Arden, North Carolina. 6'4", 225 pounds. And see, as a redshirt freshman, you never know. He got his hand in the ground next year. You're like, oh, that's what, he could go over to that LT Overton position, which is considered a lineman position, bandit. But 6'4", 225 is a big guy. He has elite length and sideline to sideline range, which means he must have a little bit of speed on him. They had him coming in as an outside linebacker in a Kane Womack type scheme. He redshirted in 2024, but he has been impressive in spring camps. Just using his closing speed. I never hear somebody say too much about closing speed when it comes to linebackers, but when you do, I always think about Wilber Marshall. If you don't know, everybody know who Mike Singletary is. Everybody remember the coach. Who was the coach over here with the Redskins before they became a good team? Ron Rivera. Everybody remember those two guys. But I think Wilber Marshall is a Hall of Famer. But that man played outside linebacker in that Bears defense, and he ran everything of a 4.35, and you can see it every play. You can see it. So when they say closing speed, I'm thinking like, how fast is this kid? But they're expecting this guy to, be a contributor on special teams and to push for some rotation in that weak side linebacker role this year. And moving on now to another guy, everybody, all the quarterbacks in the country, their mothers just lean forward at the table, or they get close on the phone and say, hey, baby, you're not playing against that Q Russo, are you? You talking about Quay Russo? No, Mama, I play in the MAC. We don't have no Quay Russos over here. Quay Russo is going to be our starting, God willing, wolf linebacker. He's a hybrid, which is a hybrid edge. His job is to terrorize everybody in the backfield, mainly the quarterback, but everybody else. Just get him out of there. You see the ball, get him out of the backfield. It's pretty simple. I don't even know how often they drop back in coverage, but I'm sure they do. I want to spend a little time talking about his possible backup, or a guy I'd be rotating a lot of times with Jamarion Lathan. He's a redshirt senior for University of Alabama. And this could hurt us next year. After this season, I think Quay could be gone and Latham could be gone. But anyway, while we got him, we got to make it happen. Like I say, he's a redshirt senior, which means I think he has another year. So if he doesn't play enough, he always can come back and get some more shine. But he has transitioned between Jamaria has transitioned between defensive line, interior roles throughout his career. He's 6'3", 275. So it sounds like he could move to the inside, play another year, and move on with his life as well in the NFL. But they see him as a very versatile player, particularly on the run deep defense and short yardage packages. Maybe give Quay a little breather. But he did play in 25 games, contributing, reliable. He was a reliable rotation piece. His best game, if I'm not mistaken, was actually in the game we lost, I think against Michigan. But he's valued because of his leadership, his toughness, and as a just a good rotation piece. And sometimes their guys played in the NFL. I promise you, they've been in the league maybe 5-6 years. I don't even remember him playing at Alabama. But when you go back and look it up, oh, he played about 15, 25 games, plays a game. Sometimes that's all it takes. Do you make the most out of your opportunities? And then I think I'm pronouncing this right. Yanzi Pierre is a redshirt junior edge for Alabama. They say he has an elite first step. His quickness is and pass rushing potential is off the chart. He's another 4-star coming in out of Eufaula, Alabama. When you go, when she call, you follow. You follow me bringing that heat. You hear me? Anyway, back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, you follow. Hey, baby. Anyway, he's 6'3", 235-pound frame. He has explosive bursts. And, I mean, they say he flashed during spring practices. He's expected to be part of the edge rotation with Keon Keeley. And this team is loaded. You got another guy, a true freshman, Noah Carter. I think he's a redshirt freshman because unless he's coming out of class last year. So he makes him a sophomore out of Centennial, Tennessee, 6'3", 230, 4-star, athletic edge defender with strong pass rush skills. Do we need any of that? Because I'm telling y'all, that's the next piece. I'm not saying it's the final piece. We let quarterbacks get away with too much. Even though they were top, Alabama was top 10, I think, in turnovers, if not top 5. We let them get away with too much still. So we're going to turn the heat up there and definitely got to do something with the run game. I can't wait to talk about defensive linemen soon. So this guy's an edge rusher. He impressed doing summer workouts, and he can see some early snaps on in situational situations. I wouldn't be surprised if they played 30 people during FSU. And for the first 3 games, to see who has what, who is dominant. When you play the quote-unquote lesser schools, not talking about Wisconsin, but I'm going to throw them in there just because for time's sake. So it's like the first 3 games because we got to know who got it before we get to Georgia. I mean, Wisconsin compared to Georgia, come on now. I know it's Big Ten. We don't want to disrespect the Big Ten. Oh, the last thing we want to do is disrespect the Big Ten. I just think we're going to put 30 people out there and make it happen. Like I said, going to the honorees on the team thus far and looking at stats from last year, Lawson, like I said, he lost a couple of games last year, but he still had 76 tackles, 6.5 for tackles for loss. He had an interception and forced fumble. And he was named as a second-team preseason All-American. Justin Jefferson last year. Oh, they're saying that also that Lawson is predicted as a day 2 pick in the 2026 NFL draft, and I'm glad he'll be glad to hear about it too. But he has a chance also setting the world on fire and get to that first round. I mean, he has all the knowledge, he has the skills, he has everything. Is this going to be a linebacker friendly draft? I don't know. Justin Jefferson, 6'1", 227. Had 60 tackles last year, 2 sacks, forced fumble. He was granted an extra year of eligibility. Thank you, Supreme Court. Yeah, speed covers. I don't know if he got an extra because of injury or because of that ruling when it comes to the. It was so many reasons, but I think he got hurt as well. We didn't see him toward the end of the year, if I'm not mistaken. But he's known for his speed and coverage ability and has a very high motor. Like I said, I have something coming out on Nakai Hill-Green, but you guys have to remember, that guy was second team All Big 12 last year. May not mean nothing to you, but it's going to mean something to Kane Womack in his defense. He was able to get 11.5 tackles for loss, 82 tackles altogether, 2 interceptions. He had 4 pass breakups. Now, when you what they call it, you get the derivative of that to the SEC, that 82 tackles probably turned into about 50. The 11.5 tackles for loss turned into maybe 5. May still have 1 sack, not 2 interceptions. Might have 3 interceptions where these guys throw the ball. But I mean, that's a guy, like I said, he got to get it. He's a redshirt senior. I do not think he has another year after this one. He got to get it. He has a lot of motivation to make it all happen. And Q Rosal, who's everybody scared of, 6'2", 243. He had 36 tackles. He had 1 sack last year. He's a versatile a hybrid edge rusher with coverage upside. They want that guy in the NFL like last time, but he couldn't go because I think he was too young. Because they just see it in him. And our emerging talent at this position, y'all can say you got Caden Jones. He has starting potential, especially next year. Abdul Sanders, like I said, he's a freshman standout, and he went to Mater Dei. There's something going on in them California schools. I don't know if they're getting the best and the best, but I think they got the best coaches around, so they are training these guys up big time out there. We talked about Luke Metz and Yanzi Pierre, and don't forget about Justin Hill. Justin Hill is an elite edge player, and he has been praised often about his work ethic. So that is the unit that I'm looking forward to seeing. And when we look at what people around the nation or the media says about this unit, first of all, every unit on defense is in somebody's top 10. And Joe Clyde, he said that Alabama was the only team that had a top 10 player in every unit. He had a top 10 list for defensive linemen, cornerbacks, and defensive backs. He said Alabama's on the team, just like everybody was saying. Alabama's units are ranked high nationally. Pro Football Focus has them as the 10th highest rated, the top 10 in linebacking groups in the country. CBS says it's a rock solid group with NFL upside, and Fox Sports said the returning production of this unit, it ranks among the SEC's best. The SEC's best. Let me go to this, see who's said hello today. It is D. Huggy Beard. Wilbur Marshall is so underrated. He was a true. I just know he showed up was fast. Hey, Huggy, how you doing? It was a blur. It was a blur to see that guy coming through that. I mean, especially going to the sideline, thinking you about to turn something up. Not on that weak side. You better put a lineman over there on him. Yeah, y'all hit that like button. And what's good with you, Jermaine Mims? Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to move on down here to we already talked about who the starters are, but I don't know if y'all realize this. We're still getting elite talent coming into this linebacker room. Womack's scheme, where everybody laughed and giggled at it, I don't know what they ran at Ohio State. I don't know what they ran at Michigan. When I kind of know what Kirby may have run. Something similar to say. Other than that, I don't know what people were running. So I'll just get to give a man a chance. And people that were familiar with the program let me know that when he was at South Alabama, Kane Womack had a doggone good defense. He was working on his offense, but his defense was pretty good considering the level which they played on. And I think we're going to see a lot of that this year. So Alabama's entering the season with a versatile defensive line as well. It has a high upside. It's bolstered by emerging talent. And you got to remember that 4-2-5, it should have 3 linemen-like people in it. I know a lot of times it didn't look that way, but I don't know. I definitely had 2 out there. Sometimes I think they went a little heavy on the light side. And that may be what got us when it came to the run game with some people, because a lot of people just ran right at us and they had a really good day. We can't have no more of that. And I'm not saying we're going to go from 140, 145 yards a game rushing, giving that up down to like 80. It would be nice. There are not too many people that are doing 80s and stuff. But if they can drop this down to about 100 to 110, they gotta reduce your point score by at least a touchdown every game. When you go back and look, every game, touchdown would have helped us in some of those games. And maybe it would have got us out earlier in other games. Like we wouldn't have had to worry about staying on the field the whole time with some of the other schools playing with, because they were just running the ball and keep getting first downs. But when we look at the defensive lineman, you're talking about one man. I think he's been named captain. That's Tim Keenan. Tim Keenan is he's gonna anchor that thing down. But the problem is, who is behind him? Who's behind Tim Keenan? And there's some young guys. Now, it's been said that Alabama wants to make their defensive tackle and defensive end interchangeable because behind Tim Keenan, there are two redshirt sophomores, and one is Jeremiah Beeman. Now, he's a big guy, 6'5", 300, 4-star out of Mississippi. Sometimes I want to say Mississippi, Alabama, like that state don't even exist. But he's out of Mississippi. But he has ideal size for an interior lineman. And, he's expected to contribute as a rotational player. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of rotating going on because these guys want to just stay fresh. And the other guy is Isaiah Faga. He's a junior defensive lineman. He was a JUCO transfer. He's 6'3", 290. I'm telling you, that JUCO thing is going to be big for everybody going forward because, you can risk $250,000 or whatever they pay him on a guy who comes out of high school. But you got a guy been in JUCO for 3 years, you got to take a shot at that too, especially if you've been throwing around grown men. Do you know how many people just left their warehouse jobs and enrolled in a JUCO? Because they actually got a shot to they already know they're strong. Now they're going to play football. You may get somebody, a 24-year-old freshman coming to Alabama next year. I don't care. I don't care. You get 4 years or maybe 3, maybe 2. Could get 5, I guess. God, you be 30 years. Chris Winky Diggy Dog. Anyway, Faga is he's carved out in a rotational role. He definitely will see some playing time. We're gonna need that depth because as these guys play, and Tim Keenan says, goodbye to the capstone, we're gonna need somebody to, take his place. But Faga's strength is in the run defense and gap control. So I don't know if they're necessarily playing gaps this year or how he runs his defense, but somebody got to hold it down. On the defensive end side of the game, you got Mr. James Smith, who the world is waiting. He's a junior defensive lineman from Alabama. He's one of the most highly touted members of the Crimson Tide recruiting class when they brought him in here. They want that guy in the NFL too. I would say day 2 guy, but this 2 is a year for him to turn it on. I mean, he's a junior, if I'm not mistaken. Could be a senior, but I think he's a junior. And even if you're a senior, you could have a second senior year, whatever. But backing him up, I really want to take a look at a few guys. But a little bit more about James Smith for a minute. Smith is going to turn it up because people think he should be all SEC this year coming out. I mean, that's just the word. All SEC a bust for him. If he makes all SEC team, second or third, maybe he comes back, but maybe you go take care of mom and daddy and sister and cousin, guardians and all that stuff. But Edric Hill's a redshirt sophomore that's going to be backing him up or rotating with him. He's out of St. Louis, Missouri. Kansas City, Missouri, 6'3", 290. He has lower body strength, physical presence on the inside. He redshirted in 2024, and he's been developing. So maybe he's ready to get out there and make it happen because we are going to need that depth at that position. And I'm talking about effective depth, not just people sitting there like, how many plays you want me there, coach? No, we need if you get 20 plays, we need you, first of all, handle your responsibility for all 20 plays. Maybe you got one little hiccup, but maybe even making an impactful, having some real impact for about 25% of those. That is a great day. Don't foul up, and then on about 5 out of 20 plays, you blowing up. That's all we need. So he's gonna be out there, and I did a video on this guy. I'm so I wait for this guy to get Steve Mbowa. Steve Mbowa, I don't know if his family's from Cameroon, whatever, but they come through Canada. He played JUCO up there. He's a sophomore now. I do not know how old he is, but he has a blend of strength and athleticism and power. I mean, when I watched this film playing I don't know if it was club ball, but it wasn't high school ball. But he was playing JUCO somewhere. I mean, he was wiping people out. Now, I know JUCO is a little different, but these are grown people that he was destroying. They say he's still in a developmental player. They trying to put size on him or take size off of him. I don't know. But there were times on his high school team, they had him playing middle linebacker. And then, like, when he played middle linebacker at this junior college, and then he had his hand in the ground, he was on the inside. He was anywhere in the front seven. You can see him. You find it. 6'3", 185. And I'm talking about, I have a film you can check out on him. If I'm lying, I'm flying. This dude was crashing into people, and some people were taking that. It's one thing you get hit, you roll. But when you get up and they take that second roll, that's usually a sign that they have been injured, even temporarily. The Bandit is headlined by the man, LT Overton. Now, that Bandit is a hybrid outside linebacker, defensive end, which I really don't understand because LT Overton playing outside linebacker seems crazy. LTO was a pretty big guy now. When he came over from out of high school, he was 230. When he got here from Texas A&M, when he got to Alabama from Texas A&M, I think he was around 250, 260s, and now he's in 270. So that whole hybrid Bandit, if I see him coming, I'm going to assume he's not about to check this receiver that I put in front of him. I'm just going to, if I'm the quarterback, I'm going to throw it over there to that guy, take my chances. He is not about to come around the corner like a freight train and earhole me. Not going to happen. But who's backing this guy up? Jordan Renard, a redshirt sophomore edge rusher, known for quickness and technique. Another 6'3", 270. Outside linebacker, maybe. They say he's quick. I don't know. But he offers a strong blend of power and speed on the edge. I'd just rather just run him around the corner, let him just terrorize the backfield. Just get him. Let Q Russaw, let him jump over there and grab that guy. Like he has, Renard has shown a lot of promise in the spring. Situational pass rush roles where a lot of people start. And he's considered, he has a high upside developmental player, and they expect him to be a starter in the future. Another guy that's over there with LT Overton is Keon Keeley, red shirt, sophomore edge rusher. He was one of the nation's premier pass rushers coming out of high school. This man is 6'6", 252. And it just is, you put 30 pounds on him, next thing you know, he's a defensive end. He's backing up Tim Smith or replacing James Smith when he goes to the league. Keon Keelan, he has a combination of length, explosiveness, and bend, making him a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Not my quarterback. For all the haters out there. I love it. I love it. These they're saying that depending on how this works out, at some time, maybe in 2026, they're saying Keon Keeley may lead the defensive front in sacks. That's his upside. Let's not wait. Let's not wait. If LT needs some help, hey, throw him in there. Let's make it happen. Last year, our Bandit LT Overton had 42 tackles, 2 sacks, forced fumble, and fumble recovery. And like I said, he was in that. He was a preseason All SEC as well. He's he's a vocal leader, and people want that man to get at least 10 sacks this year. That's one a game. Did anybody have 10 sacks? I didn't look up the stats, but I definitely will take it. Tim Keenan, he had 2.5 sacks last year, 7.5 tackles for loss for 40 tackles altogether. Team captain, emotional anchor for the front. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be big. I don't know how if everybody else got the same thing Alabama has, but people keep talking this noise about what they're going to do to this defense and do this and that and the other. I got to see it. I got to see people dominate this defense. I want to see people come and think that this is last year's defense and find themselves sadly mistaken. I think everything is going to change with this defense. This swarm defense, like I said, I already said it before, the defensive line and the defensive tackle, they want them to be interchangeable. That's good because I want to see at least 3 people on that line over 270 at all times. At least on first down. Come on, can you give me first down? Because I didn't like some of this stuff I saw last time. Hey, where are we? So nationally, Pro Football Focus says this is a top 10 defensive unit. They're projected to remain there for the rest of the year. CBS Sports says they expect this to be the most improved pass rush in the SEC. Let me get real close to the mic so you can hear me. CBS Sports expects this to be the most improved pass rush in the SEC. Not the best, but improved. I want them to be the best. Fox Sports said the key to Alabama's defensive resurgence is defensive line. The key, defensive line. Rivals magazine says that this is the deepest defensive line rotation in the SEC. Does that mean anything to anybody? It means a lot to me. Deepest defensive line rotation in the SEC. We're going to see. We're going to see. The sack total last year was 64th nationally. Everybody's expecting a major jump in 2025 with Overton and Beeman leading the charge. We're going to watch out for Stephen Bowman, though. Or is it Imbawa? I'm sorry. He's a JUCO freak. He's raw, but he's explosive. And let's not forget about another guy who came in last year, London Simmons, showed up 6'3", 303. This is his sophomore season. He has a high motor. I watched a lot of those camp drills on him from when he came out of high school, and this should be his time to get some rotation this year. Little small injuries do happen, so it's good to be deep. But the defensive line, they're primed to dominate. They got a bunch of seasoned leaders. They have breakout candidates, and then they got a lot of raw athletic talent. If they communicate and work together, I think this Kane Wommack's defensive line can cause a lot of havoc for everybody we play. And I think you're going to see that soon as Castellanos steps to the line. If Overton and Beeman and Q Russo, if these people hit their stride right around Georgia, I'm not going to mention the GOAT's name. I'm just going to say this defense can be very, very good. This team can be very, very special. I'm just saying they were already trending in the right way. People didn't even see it. I remember people calling for man to get. They wanted my man to get fired. I was like, man, what's going on here? Anyway, just looked at the numbers. They did a great job. Now, let's talk about the best unit. Many people feel on the team, the best room on the defense, the defensive backs. Everybody grades them as excellent. Sorry. It's been ranked as the top 5 secondary, and I hate these rankings, but it is what it is sometimes. Top 5, CBS, Fox Sports, and a bunch of Tide sites, which is duh. Number 1 on the Tide sites. But for CBS Sports and Fox Sports, they're saying something. They're not saying nothing. And y'all know who kicks it off. The senior, Mr. Physical Press Corner himself, Damani Jackson. Also out of one of them California schools, Mr. Damani, USC ain't got what I need. Let me go to Alabama. Jackson, 6'1", senior. Hey, he only had 18 tackles, two tackles for loss. He had 3 interceptions. He had 2 passes defense. He had 2 fumble recovered. I'm sorry, that's what you call stats. That's Zay Brown's. But Xavier Brown, quote unquote, struggled as a freshman, but did a great job. 3 interceptions, 1 key interception. It probably, he was having a rough game in that Georgia game. He was a rough game in that second half. But he closed the game out for us. You never can forget that. But he's back. He's a sophomore, 6 foot tall. Got hops. He might be all SEC by the end of the season. He was freshman all SEC. And it's just plenty of other people. The depth and rotation is ridiculous. Cam Calhoun, Utah transfer, expect to be a backup. And then sometimes you got to run 3 of them guys. And then we got the old, what's the other position? I'll get to it in a minute. I'm doing a video on him. He just transferred in, but you got to see it. He going to get a lot of playing time. And if somebody get out of sorts, he's gonna get more playing time than probably he thought he'd get. Dijon Lee, 6'4", elite 5-star recruit, built for immediate impact. Chuck McDonald came in from Mater Dei, Mater, capital DEI. Go look it up. They be producing plenty of studs every year. And let's not forget, Husky. Who's the Husky number close to your heart? Early in the season, this guy got a lot of playing time, then it kind of dropped off. But he's back. He didn't transfer. He said, I'm going to stay here and work. And I'm talking about Mr. Red Morgan. Versatile DB. And I think the versatility is probably why he stayed, because he could very easily rotate up into some type of rover, the Husky position, play corner, or maybe be a backup to one of the safeties. So there's playing availability for him. Red, first of all, he can tackle. He's kind of a ball hawk, takes chances at times. 6 foot tall, 195. Last report, he's probably bigger than that now. But he has pretty good coverage skills, and like I said, run support. But he's versatile. He's very versatile. He's been a consistent starter until later in the season. If he sticks it out and just stays where he is, now I don't know if he's a redshirt senior, a junior, or what, but he's considered a strong NFL prospect with he has a pretty good IQ. He has a high IQ, and he has lockdown coverage skills. Everybody needs refinement. Sometimes you can trade and get more playing time, but sometimes somebody's being honest with you, telling you what you need to work on, and we're going to help you work on it. That's important too. That's why people don't hit the portal from certain places. Dijon Lee, he's coming in here known for his quickness, his instincts and coverage. 5'11". Nope. He's a man-to-man. He can do it all. Tackle, He can play that nickel position when we need it. He's viewed as a steady performer with, the potential of earning a starting role here or there. But I'm telling you, it's going to be hard to get Xavier Brown off of his start. It's going to be hard to get Xavier off his spot, because those guys are good. But there are certain times, they're running 3 wide receivers all the time. We have the depth to cover that. When you talk about NFL draft buzz, everybody looking at Dijon Lee already. He ain't even played that much. I mean, that is crazy. Damani Jackson, he's projected as a middle rounder in the next draft. Xavier Brown, they looking at that dude in 2027 already. Next, you move over to our safeties. 2 names. Bray Hubbard, y'all saw him. He came in when my man broke his when Keon Saab hurt his foot. He came in and he just made plays. I mean, every game, whether it was an interception, he had a breakout year. He's a former QB, and he reminds me of that John Lynch. Not that he lays the wood to the receivers, but he's making plays. He's making impact. 6'2", 213. He ain't no small dude. Keon Saab is back, very aggressive. Of course, he comes from Michigan. I think he's wearing that championship ring. He's returning to be a starter one more time, and I think he's going to be off to the NFL, but backing him up, Deshaun Jones. Now, I want Deshaun Jones. He's in that Husky position as well. He's a good coverage guy and run support. He came over from Wake Forest last season. He's a versatile nickel safety, and just the rotation just is so deep. We talked about Morgan. He's a sophomore. Red Morgan, he's a dime back, can go anywhere. Xavier Mincy, we talked about him, a converted CB. No, Xavier Mincy, we didn't talk about him. Elite measurables. He had a breakout bowl performance, but we lost the bowl, so nobody wants to remember that. You got Drake Kirkpatrick, him just like his dad. Instinctive, and he's pushing for Husky reps as well. And let's not forget Ike's boy. Ivan Taylor is on the team. He's still learning. He's young. This is his sophomore season. He has a balanced skill set. I think he made a redshirt last year. Should have redshirt. He didn't get that much playing time, but it's a lot of names back there. But a guy I'm really been cheering for is a guy that came over to us from Charlotte. Like I said, University of North Carolina in Charlotte. I think that's it. The Chanticleers. Cameron Howard. I thought he was a guy coming over. I thought maybe when he came out of high school, he was like, man, I'm better than this school. And he played over there. He did well, and he transferred. And I knew that guy was coming in with a chip on his shoulder. So he probably got over here and found out he had a lot to learn, and he had to, up his game. But he's a speedy safety DB type defensive back, Husky, whatever you want to call him. He's definitely going to add to the depth, and I do expect that man to crack into the starting lineup next season. Going back to Xavier Mincy for a second, if I can get my notes straight, he's recognized for his speed and aggressive play style. Thank you very much. It's me. What's going on with your Roll Tide to y'all? Roll Tide to everybody. Be sure to hit that like button. Let them know what we're doing over. I'm trying to give y'all the real. I'm just like a fat man on the couch, except I got an office chair and a microphone telling y'all about the Crimson Tide. But what more can I do for my country? Anyway, 6 foot tall Xavier Mincy is 185. He plays most of the guy in the slot, but you never know. When you're going to be at Alabama, you're going to be versatile working with Kane Womack. It's just like on the offensive side, they want those receivers to be able to be interchangeable. It makes it more daily that way. So I just don't know. The talent is caked up here. Y'all sure Nick Saban still not the coach? Mincy has shown improvement in his coverage technique and tackling for his first 2 seasons, and he's considered a rising contributor. Talking about Dre Kirkpatrick, following the footsteps of his NFL veteran father, 6'1", 200. If he stays back there at safety, that can be nasty. He has physicality, but he's smooth with his coverage skills and has very strong instincts. I would imagine his father probably shared some skills with him on how to read, how to study film, and that means a lot because a lot of times those guys can share at an early time period, like as a freshman. You got a guy whose daddy was in the NFL sitting down teaching you how to read film. That's powerful. They regard this guy as a leader and a reliable defender with NFL potential. But going back to a man, Cameron Howard, I mean, he's a physical talent. I think he has the experience to play multiple secondary positions and contribute significantly on special teams. He's considered a reliable defender, and like I said, I think they see him as becoming a starter eventually. Like 3 people of our backfield were all SEC. I think second team and third team. That'd be Bray Hubbard. That would be Keon Saab. That would be Damani Jackson. But Xavier was all SEC freshman last year. This year, we really could shut that thing down. We could end up with 4 people and somewhere along all SEC and even all American honors. Really, I mean, Keon Saab has that. He has that potential. Let's see. Xavier Brown was a preseason All-SEC candidate. LT Overton. Now, Pro Football Focus sees this as one of the worst secondaries in the country. That's a lie. I just lied to y'all. Pro Football Focus sees this is a top 5 secondary unit nationally. What's going on? Get musty. Don't use no deodorant. Just get musty. Yeah. At least that's what that girl told me. CBS Sports said this is the most complete DB group in the SEC. I'm going to just say it again. CBS Sports says, and I like CBS Sports because I don't like ESPN mainly. Anyway, the most complete DB room in the SEC. Fox Sports, elite blend of youth and experience. And TideFan.com, I wonder what they had to say. They rated them excellent with multiple NFL caliber. I don't even know why they say NFL notes, but I thought it's funny that somebody, an Alabama-based website would be like, you know what? That group's pretty good. I'm going to rate them as excellent. Like, what? Do you want to stay in business? You better. But just looking at what the other and Pro Football Focus thing about them, they base that in stats. And they do all their little algebras and they do all their little funny little cipherings. And they come up with this is what we think they're going to do this year. Let's see. It's me comes in and says, how is AU doing in recruiting? Hold on for a second. It's still trash. Still trash. Yeah, still trash. Yeah. No problem. Thank you for the question. That is me. Giz Mustard said, as you slide through, hit that like button. That's right. Yes, sir. Hit that slide button. That button. Giz Mustard, see, Ty, you ain't right. I had to do it because it's kind of the truth. They come along. They picked up a couple of pieces, but it's hard, man. It's hard. I know. Cohen, the athletic director, said everybody cheat, and Auburn, because they believe that all it represents, they're not going to cheat. They're going to do things the right way. And then with the release of 2 pieces of paper saying we're going to let all that stuff they doing ride and forget what we said earlier, and you ain't got to call your lawyers. Don't send them down here. Yeah, now everybody can recruit on the same playing field. Nobody was cheating. Try to tell y'all wasn't it. You was ranked 81 and you had no players, and you said everybody else was cheating. I guess 75 up. I'm just gonna do what the group do. I mean, it's like when when you out there driving. I mean, if everybody doing 85, they ain't gonna pull all of us over. No, in Florida they will pull you all over. They used to. I don't know if they use the helicopter thing, but they used to pull over a lot of people. I would get in there. The 75 to 80 line. I went in the 80, that 90 mile per hour line. I ain't want no part of that. But Auburn got time to go out. Here's a friendly tip, Get Mustard. He needs to contact his local JUCOs. Don't look at high school at all. Tell you. Because they're better. First of all, they can't miss at this point, at this stage late in the game. Because the season is about to start. You can only dedicate a couple people to recruiting. Where you going to find them at? JUCOs. Get to them first. Bring them in January. Call it a play. Get ready for the 2026 Iron Bowl. And yet again, another loss. Now, a position with the University of Alabama that scares me a lot. And I see it as defensive. We talked about the line. We talked about the linebacker. We talked about it in the secondary. The punter. Yeah, the punter. Punter comes in after the offense, but that is a defensive position. You got to have a reliable punter. I need nobody out there figuring this thing out. James Burnham is gone, y'all. He's somewhere in the NFL doing his thing, And the special teams coordinator, you always want to emphasize hang time, directional accuracy, but we brought in a punter, Connor Talty. From Chicago. I think he's transferring over. He may be the place kicker as well. Special teams, I'm going to just tell y'all right now, I think Tide still going to get 10 wins. They got potential to win all of them, but I'm telling you, if they lose the game because of special teams or just have a weak showing because of special teams that resulted in a loss, I would not be surprised at all. Kicker, everything's gone. But when you look at this punting role, they keep the media would say we don't have a guy, but we do. They got some guys out there that walked on, but last year the board gave Alex Asparoff, 6'3", 200-pound punter who should be a sophomore or a redshirt freshman because he didn't play. I don't think he did. Didn't matter. I don't know if he's a redshirt or not. But he was a number 3 punter nationally. So I'm like, it's time for this dude to start earning his beans. He ain't got plenty of place of beans without having to play. This man had a camp grade of five star, but he was like I think he was a 4-star kicker because he was a place kicker as well as a punter. Now I can tell you, I watched his video, did a video on him. Want to see it? There you go. It's up there somewhere. He went from averaging like 30-some yards. Then like the summer, he came back his junior year. He started kicking 40-something. Then he came back the next year as a senior. He was kicking 50s. He's hitting 50s. So this time, this man is on scholarship. They say he averaged 43.5 as a junior. Yeah, as a junior. They need to get him out there. Let's see. Get Misty came back. Get Musty. People overlook punters until you need them. Yeah, I don't. And until you got a guy that can pin your opponent inside the 5 over and over. Yeah, exactly. All that. He in his film, he showed that. He showed where he knew how to deaden the ball in high school. So I'm like, I don't know, because I'm not standing there on campus looking at everything. I'm searching for a punter. They were like, oh, they got some walk-ons. And there was a guy that came over, I think, from the University of the Mines. Yeah, University of the Mines. That's in Colorado. You got to be a super genius guy to get in there. They do a lot of that, all that oil and mineral engineering. So I'm thinking that he's got to be the guy that's peaking right now. Hopefully he will be. PhD, what's going on? Long time to you. Good evening. Sorry for not coming in when the show started. As you know, I cannot wait for September. Well, I hope we ain't got to wait for September. When do we get to beat? When do we get to play the Cinnamon Rolls? That's around the corner. It's just unfortunate, though. Like right now, there's nobody on Alabama's team that's on the Ray Guy watch list. They're not watching us for none of that stuff. There was the Graham, what's the kicking thing? We ain't on none of them lists. They even got a long snapper type of award, special team. We ain't on none of that. And that concerns me. We are in a post-James Burnham era. Like, our punter is not listening in top 25. CBS said that our punter situation is under evaluation. Pro Football Focus says that our punter situation is an unknown status. Athlon Sports, this is sad. Athlon Sports projected that we will be in the bottom of the SEC when it comes to our punter. But we haven't named one, son. That's pretty lofty thing there. It's me says, hello, PhD. Why did AU run Cadillac off? Oh boy. I don't think she's gonna touch down with a 10-foot pole. Oh, that's right, September. Yeah. You got some wonderful news. Yeah, tell people about that, PhD. We might need a punter. Yeah, we might need a punter, folks. We might need a punter every once in a while, unless just get the ball and score every time. It's me to respect my friend class. I would leave the comments to myself. I thank you. Yeah, it's I don't know. He's doing okay. Cadillac's doing okay wherever he is. Now, Alabama's field position game we could take a hit right there. That worries me against the Wisconsins. That worries me against the Georgia. But all you got to do, you get a guy out there, you just, run 13 people at him. I guess get him ready. Take him hit him when his ankle is at the highest height is gonna get. Just hit him. Just get it over with. Is he all right? Okay, line him up. Let's do it again. Will we go for it more on 3rd and shorts and 4th and shorts because of this? Will this really become an issue? It's not catastrophic because I think whoever they do select, by the time game 5 comes along, they'll be fine. Unless there's a change in the position. But I can tell you, games 1 through 4, it's going to be tentative. Even with the place kicker, I'm going to talk about that a little bit next time. But right now, Connor Talkchi, whoever that is, Grant Starrett, he's a walk-on, no game experience. I hope that means no college game experience, not like no game. Like he just really walked out the frat house, hang with the bros. Just start booting the ball one day. It's possible. And for that money, trust me, for the money, it's possible. But I don't know. The punter position is one of the few uncertainties that we have. That and the kicker. Who's going to kick the field goal? Who's going to try to kick anything over 25, 30 yards? God, I just cannot believe this Alex Asparoff is not everywhere. Oh, my God. Anyway, I think we'll be okay. So like I said, you always can just score every time you get the ball or just always make it to the red zone or 25, maybe kick it in, or maybe you go for it because you're inside of their 40 all the time. You ain't worry about putting. No, it's not going to be that drastic, folks. But it is something to jot down as we get ready for the Tide to roll this season. PhD said, saw the video about Coach Cochran. Glad he is the head coach at University of West Alabama. Yeah, it's hey, for all y'all out there who own them subsidies, be careful. Don't care how good your job's going, how much money you making. Don't do it. Get some help. Get some help. But that's all I got for you guys. I will see you on Thursday at 5. What did I say, 5? Yeah, 5 p.m. on Thursday, and back here again next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I hope you're enjoying the show. If so, don't forget to give a brother a pound and hit that subscribe button and notification so you know when I drop a video. I already got videos in the can. Like I said, I want to talk to y'all about these transfers and what impact they're going to have for the Crimson Tide this year. I want to, tell your friends to find me over here at YouTube and Facebook right here at Tight Sports. Shout out to the Sharpshooters Podcast. Roll Tide to you, sir. And peace out to the brothers at Auburn Addicts. Water Cooler Podcast, Bubba, old man. It's SE season. And the Justin, my boy, at the Up Tempo Podcast. Those are a fine group of Auburn Americans. But with that, like I said, we'll see you this Thursday coming up right here on Around the Herd. And folks, always remember, roll, tide, roll.